welcome back. In this section we are going to dive in the history of electric vehicles, because to me, before moving ahead, sometimes is rather useful first to look back. And talking about lessons of history, we have to learn the history of electric vehicles. I would like to start with an important individual, Ferdinand Porsche. Ferdinand Porsche is a rather famous person in automotive industry. He was born in Austro-Hungary, but considered as German automotive engineer, the founder of Porsche company, and even as a car engineer of the 20th century. Talking about such interesting person, we have to keep in mind that the early career of Ferdinand Porsche had a kind of electric roots. In early age, at age of 14, he started his first experiments with electricity, and few years later joined the Vienna-based Bela Eger Electric Company. In Vienna, he continued his work with electricity, and also he studied in local university. And a few years later, in 1897, he built a revolutionary interesting device, wheel hub motor, which is an electric motor built in wheel. And just 1 year later, he joined the Vienna-based car manufacturer Jacob Lohner company. And in the same year, this company presented a pure electric car. So you see, the very first car designed by Ferdinand Porsche was pure electric. And although you cannot find the name of Porsche in the name of the car, the young Ferdinand Porsche was proud to have his name engraved as P1 code on some parts of this vehicle. P1 stands for first car of Porsche. 1 year later, this company presented another pure electric car. The second car designed by Ferdinand Porsche has the name of Porsche in the name of the car this time. And this very car has built-in wheel hub motors. You see, such design, such solution was considered as revolutionary. This car was presented at the World Trade Fair in Paris at the very age between 19th and 20th century. This fair was demonstration of advantages of past century and some vision and prospects of coming century. At this World Trade Fair, this car was considered as revolutionary innovation, as we just mentioned. Why? Let's mention the key parameters of this car. First of all, it had no mechanical transmission. I mean no mechanical transmission at all. The speed were regulated by 12-speed controller. It was driven by two wheel hub motors, electric motor built in wheels, and fed by lead acid battery with 0.6 kilowatt hours. This battery was enough for 50 kilometers or 30 miles range and speed up to 50 kilometers per hour or 30 miles per hour. Also, this vehicle utilized all-wheel braking by front wheels using wheel hub motors and rear wheels by just usual mechanical traction brakes. Such design utilizing wheel hub motors allowed Ferdinand Porsche soon after that built first four-wheel drive car. On this picture you can see that each wheel of this car contains wheel hub motors, and lately just the same idea was utilized for making very first hybrid car. Why young Ferdinand Porsche was interested in such concept of hybrid cars? To my understanding, further career of Ferdinand Porsche demonstrated his talent and passion for racing and record breaking, creation of fast cars, and it was rather understandable because record breaking and taking part in racing allowed him to increase his popularity of his brand and became more popular to sell more cars. When we are talking about record breaking and taking part in racing, from one point of view, you see electric vehicles were rather good. You can find a lot of records broken by electric vehicles. But just when we are talking about flat road race. But when we are talking about uphill driving, the heavy weight of battery of electric vehicle became a strong drawback, and the hybrid concept allowed Ferdinand Porsche to decrease the weight and the size of the battery and use a small lightweight internal combustion engine Daimler made for onboard electrical energy generation. Few years later, after some military device, Ferdinand Porsche joined and took the position of electrical director of Austro-Daimler. It was a very good position for such a young person, and continues some work with electrical vehicles, talking about 2 more electric vehicles. First, I want to mention interest in light commercial electric vehicles. Mercedes Electric. It was used for local deliver food, beer, municipal services, garbage taken away, and for fire departments. The second electric vehicle to mention associated with Ferdinand Porsche is so-called Austro-Hungarian electric train. It utilized just the same hybrid solution with electric drivetrain and onboard electrical energy generation. It could be used for usual road or for railroads. And when we talk about popularity of electric vehicles, it was popular and booming up not only in Europe, it was even more popular in the United States.